దూర విద్యా విధానంలో డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ ఓపెన్ యూనివర్సిటీ దేశంలోనే మొట్టమొదటి సార్వత్రిక విశ్వవిద్యాలయం. దాదాపు 2.5 దశాబ్దాలుగా దూర విద్యా విధానం ద్వారా కంప్యూటర్ కోర్సును అనుసంధానం చేస్తూ BA, BCom, BSc డిగ్రీ కోర్సులను అందిస్తోంది. పోస్ట్ గ్రాడ్యుయేషన్ స్థాయి, డిగ్రీ, డిప్లొమా స్థాయి కోర్సులను ఔత్సాహికులైన విద్యార్థులకు అందిస్తోంది. డాక్టర్ బిఆర్ అంబేద్కర్ సార్వత్రిక విశ్వవిద్యాలయం స్థానికంగా స్వయం బోధనా పద్ధతిలో ముద్రణ రూపంలో రూపొందించిన కోర్స్ మెటీరియల్ అందిస్తోంది. కోర్స్ మెటీరియల్ అధ్యయనానికి సహకరించే విధంగా రేడియో, టెలివిజన్ పాఠ్యాంశాల ఆధారంగా కార్యక్రమాలు ప్రసారం చేస్తోంది. అధ్యయన కేంద్రాల ద్వారా ఏర్పాటు చేసే సలహా సంసర్గ తరగతులు, సైన్స్ ప్రాక్టికల్ సౌకర్యాలు విద్యార్థులకు స్వయం అధ్యయనానికి ఒక చక్కటి అవకాశం. ఇవి విద్యార్థి సమీపంలో ఉండే అధ్యయన కేంద్రం నుంచే పొందొచ్చు.
Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to the teleconference program of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University. This teleconference program is intended for the Bachelor of Library and Information Science students of the university, and the duration of this teleconference program is 60 minutes. In the first half of this program, the experts will give you an overview of the topic, and in the next half an hour, the students are encouraged to interact with the experts to clarify their doubts. The student, to interact with the experts, you can call on these numbers 040 2703 1431, 040 2703 1432, 040 2703 1433. Computer is the most sophisticated electronic device that is invented by the human beings for processing of large amount of data with greater speed and accuracy and reliability. Nowadays, we see that most of the libraries, both small libraries and even the bigger libraries, they are using computers and internet for providing effective services to the users. In today's teleconference program, we will be discussing the topic library automation software. As all of you know, hardware and software are two important components of a computer. Hardware refers to the physical elements or physical parts of a computer, such as a keyboard, a monitor, a mouse, a hard disk. All these are examples of hardware, while the software refers to a set of instructions or code or program for performing a specific task. These hardware and software both are interdependent, and without a proper hardware, the software cannot function properly. So, in this today's tele lesson, we will be talking about different types of softwares. That is, system software there are different types of software. System software refers to the instruction which is required to run the computer, and the application software is designed for a specific purpose, to accomplish a specific purpose. So, the library automation software is an example for application software, and the library automation software, it is designed to perform the functions such as acquisition and then serials control, cataloging, and generating the reports, so on and so forth. So, in this tele lesson program, we will be discussing the different aspects of library automation software, starting from what are the different types of software, that are available in the market, and also the advantages, disadvantages, and also the areas for library automation. All these aspects we will be discussing in today's teleconference program. To discuss this topic in detail, we have with us in the studios two experts, Professor Dr. P. Divakar. He was a former librarian of CCMB, a premier scientific institution, and the other resource person we have with us today is Dr. N. Varatharajan. He is the librarian, Hyderabad Central University. Welcome you, sir, to the studios. And to initiate the discussion, I would like to ask Dr. Varatharajan. Nowadays, there is we notice a tremendous change in the way the libraries are providing their services to its user from the traditional library services. So, can you explain to our students what are the factors that influence the libraries to go for automation, the need and the purpose of library automation?
No, automation is a process which you are using some machinery or computer or any device in place of the manual work. Whereas in library is concerned, what are the work, catalog or classification or circulation, all the thing we can automate using the software. There are different kind of software available in the market which is suitable for you, you can select it. Another thing is, if you are using this computer for our the activities, we can fasten the work. Okay, instead of the suppose in case if you are doing catalog, olden days we used to do it number of catalog for other title, then series, then keyword like that. Instead of that, in computer just create one main catalog that will cater for all the need, otherwise it will take lot of time. Moreover, that in circulation we can using this software, this automation process, we can fasten the activities. When you are using the book or return the book, we can fasten as well as with accuracy we can give the detail. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Divakar, would you like to supplement what are the other factors that have influenced the libraries to go for automation?
Sure, madam. In a library environment, we do lot of repetitive jobs. As Varatharajan said, same thing we keep on doing, again and again. For example, you take the acquisition activity. In a library situation, we buy books, we circulate the books, we process the books. When you talk about books, we have elements like author for a book, a title for a book, publisher for a book, or maybe year of publication. So, these 4 or 5 elements, we repeatedly handle them. At the time of accessioning, for example, you write down the details in an accession register. When you prepare a catalog, you write again the same kinds of stuff on a catalog card. And when you do some kind of a circulation activity, again the same kind of data is involved. So, in that sense, the repetitive activities that we do in a typical library, if you can hand over these repetitive jobs to a machine, perhaps the systems will be more efficient and the library staff also would be free for many other activities. Like for example, people in the library, they can spend more time with the users and then try to understand what are their needs, are they getting their whatever they want easily, any issues with them. So, we can talk to them, we will have more time to address to their needs and we will be free from some of these mundane activities like writing down the author name, title several times in a day. So, in that sense, the library automation started say sometime in 1960s precisely. To give the repetitive jobs to a machine, we started experimenting with computers. As Saroja madam rightly said, computers are very good for handling lot of chunks of data. And in libraries also we have huge chunks of data. For example, if you take a university library, say it has 5 lakh books or 10 lakh books, it is a huge voluminous data. And most of this data is available in textual form. So processing this textual information would be more efficient if you hand it over to a machine. Similarly, a college library may have thousands of students and hundreds of faculty members, and all that data, if you give it to a machine will be able to manipulate it in a better way. So, we started experimenting with computers, so that our efficiency increases day by day, and our users life also will be more convenient. They will feel it convenient. They would love to come to a library and spend less time on some of these operations. So that's how we started automating libraries.
Very well said, sir. Actually, Dr. Varatharajan, he said you can provide the information at a faster rate. And then another point which is rightly pointed out is that you can avoid the repetitive jobs. And also computers has also given us an opportunity to collaborate also, share our resources with each other. So, these are the various factors which prompted the libraries to go for automation, and also the computers are the order of the day. We are the one of the few first adopters of the computers in the libraries. So, Dr. Divakar, can you please explain, we used to hear about the notched cards, punched cards, which were that was the first attempt made towards automation. Can you please explain how it has all started, this automation activity in libraries? A brief history, can you please explain to our students?
As you said, librarians have pioneered the use of computers historically, and we picked up ideas from many other fields. For example, in America, the first use of computers were made for processing the census data, for collecting data about citizens, what is their name, their caste, their income, age, their domicile, so many other things. So, librarians thought similarly, we have different kinds of data about a book and about our members. So, can we not use the same systems used by the census people for handling data in a library? So, in that sense, the people at the University of Texas in Austin, to be precisely, during 1930s, precisely 1936, they started experimenting with what used to be known as punched cards in those days. The IBM first made available these punched cards, and people at the University of Texas in Austin, they experimented with these IBM punched cards for handling their circulation data. For example, which book was issued to a given individual, you punch a card and then keep the record and process these cards subsequently. So, they experimented with it for about a decade approximately, but then those IBM punched cards machines, they were very slow, dead slow to be precise. So, they did not really find a place in the library automation process at that time, because computers were very crude in those days, 1930s, 1940s. But actual takeoff happened during 1960s, when better computing came into the market, especially the mainframe computers came into the market. The second generation, third generation computers started arriving in the market, and the pioneering efforts towards automating libraries was initiated by none other than the American National Library, what we now call Library of Congress. Library of Congress pioneered the use of computers. They are the one of the earliest people to use, and they initially used computers for cataloging purposes. They are the first in the world to use the term MARC, machine readable catalog, and that actually gave a thrust to the automation activities around the world when Library of Congress launched MARC, putting the catalog in a computer and naming it machine readable catalog. So that's happened in 1960s.
Yes.
So, put the library book data in a standard format. They have also standardized the way the structure should be written. At that time, the Anglo-American cataloging rules were in force. So, they took the Anglo-American cataloging rules and then started writing the catalog cards in a standard format, and then using a machine for that and putting it on a machine, and so that it could be shared across the country, across the world. So, on the top of that, simultaneously what happened a few years later, an organization called OCLC, what we now call as Online Library Computer Center. It all started in Ohio. A lot of like-minded librarians, they joined hands, and then they started thinking, why not we collaboratively do some things in libraries, and then give some hand to the job that the Library of Congress is doing. So, Library of Congress was basically preparing catalogs in a machine readable form, and OCLC with its lot of membership, with its networking, etc., like-minded librarians joining together and all. So, they started making use of the catalog, machine readable catalog system developed by the Library of Congress, and then that actually gave a big jump to the library automation processes in the world, and several countries followed suit subsequently.
Okay, and in 1980s the microcomputers have come. So, the cost of hardware also is has come down, and so that many libraries could afford to buy the computers, and then the CD-ROM also has revolutionized the way the information is stored on the small disk. You can store lot of data, and so many encyclopedias, many databases started coming in the form of CD-ROMs. So, these are all some of the.
Absolutely,
Yes.
madam. In those days, actually, when Library of Congress was distributing, they had only mainframe machines like VAX computers, DEC computers only were available. They were very, very expensive. Like individual libraries could not afford that. But then the tapes actually came, that spooled tape actually came into the market as a storage device. So, once tapes started arriving, and Library of Congress starting putting the catalog data on a tape, on a magnetic tape, and became easy for them to distribute these tapes to the library. So, that you get the tape and then run the tape and copy it to your own local server. So, that is how actually the cooperation started. That was in the 1970s and
80s.
all. As you rightly said, during 1980s, the microcomputer started arriving. First IBM PC has arrived into the market in 1980s. So, in 1980s actually what happened was that it was possible for a library to own a computer. Previously it was it was impossible to imagine a library buying a computer. They were so prohibitively expensive. Even for a large university or a large institution, it was very difficult to think of buying a computer. They were so expensive, and they were also under, computers also used to be under highly controlled regime. They were taken as people were not selling computers. For example, America was not selling computers to other countries. It was kept as a closely guarded technology. It's only after IBM PCs came 1980s onwards, the technology percolated, and even smaller libraries could own a computer. So, that actually made the whole change, the whole scenario changed with IBM PC coming into the market. And as you have rightly said, along with that, the storage devices also have lot of improvement took place in the storage devices, especially the CD-ROM. The CD-ROM was a boon for librarians, because CDs could store huge amounts of data, and we have large chunks of data in a library. You take, for example, encyclopedia or a dictionary, we required space for storing the whole dictionary, and one CD could hold the whole Oxford English Dictionary, or the entire Encyclopedia Britannica could be put on a CD-ROM. So, the developments in the affordability of computers plus the availability of storage systems actually gave a lot of thrust to the librarians, and a lot of young energetic librarians started experimenting with these computers. When machines became available, they started experimenting and then automating their library processes. And then initially they started looking at, most of them started working on the circulation systems, for example, because that is the area which consumes a lot of time for the users as well as the library staff. So, some of the earlier library automation systems were mostly based on the circulation systems, how to make people more comfortable, how to reduce the queues in a circulation counter. So, how to perform a issue of a book within a few seconds. So, that was the thrust, and then circulation, people spent a lot of money, efforts on circulation, and then the cataloging. These two were one of the successful stories in a library system operationally.
And also I would like to add one point here. In 90s we saw the emergence of networks. So, lot of library networks have emerged, and then the OPAC has substituted replaced the traditional library catalogs, which we used to hold in big cabinets, in catalog cabinets. So, all these developments have taken place, and now I would like to ask Dr. Varatharajan. So, if a newly established library, maybe manually it was performing for some few years and it wanted to go for library automation. So, for any project, implementation of any project, planning is required.
Yeah.
So, it is so how to plan for library automation? What are the things that needs to be taken care in planning for automation?
When you are going for automate your library, the planning is very much important. There are different kind of libraries, that is a public library, academic library, within academic, then college, university, and the school libraries. Then if you take it that they are the research libraries like ISRO, BHL and other things. While going for automation, we have to plan it properly. In the sense, how much collection you have. What are the different kind of collection? In the sense that is a book, that is a periodical, then that is a CD-ROM or audio, video cassette, all the things we have to take it into consideration. Moreover, there you have to take the user, how many users are there, how many users for your college or university, we have to take it into consideration. Then what are the requirement they do, what are the services you are doing for them, that also you have to take it into consideration. Then we have to plan it, how much budget is with you. Okay. You have to plan the budget accordingly, what kind of that system, what kind of hardware you can procure, what kind of software, that application software which you use for library automation. Then what kind of different peripherals, suppose you want that scanner, RFID scanner or this barcode scanner, then the security kit, all the thing we have to plan it properly. For that, first you have to do that funding, how much fund it is available, accordingly we have to plan it. Then we have to go for, suppose you are capturing the catalog, what kind of standard you have to follow, that is a different kind of a standard. Nowadays that Mark 21 is the standard, we have to capture the data through that. If you are doing this kind of standard, this can be interchangeable, we can access through the over the network anywhere in the world. It is a standard, we have to follow that. Then if you go for the hardware, what kind of server you want it, then what kind of software OS you want it. Okay, these are the, when you are selecting the OS, different kind of OS are there. It is a free, open source, the OS is there, then the commercial OS, we can get it. Then the software, application software also, there are three kind, that is a free software, then that is that commercial software, then open source software. According to your budget, you can plan it. Okay.
Thank you, Varatharajan. You have rightly said that before we implementing the automation, we need to conduct a basic survey of what collections do we have and what are the needs of our users and what is it we want to how automation will benefit the library, and also accordingly we need to develop a technology plan. So, wherein you need to plan what hardware is required, what kind of software we are going to use, and accordingly we need also take into consideration what are the financial estimate sources we have for planning. So, with all this and keeping in view all this, then we can go ahead with the implementation of the library automation project. And then as sir has already said that there are different types of softwares. So, we often hear the in-house software, and then we come across commercial software and also the open source software. These are the three types of software we often come across. So, can you explain these different types of softwares?
Sure, madam. If one wants to go for a library software, as you said, we have three options. Option one is you develop something in-house. For example,
Sorry to interrupt the discussion, sir. We have a phone call coming. Yes,
Madam, na peru Kiran Kumar.
Kiran Kumar. Yeah,
madam.
well, cheppandi.
What is open source library automation software?
Yeah.
Give me example.
Okay, we are discussing the same point now. So, please listen carefully. Now, Divakar sir will tell you what is open source software.
yeah, there are three ways of attempting library automation. One is you develop something in-house. For example, it's possible that you may be in an engineering college or a technological institute like IIT. You may have a very strong computer department in your academic organization, and you may have a lot of students who are very enthusiastic in developing new software packages, and they may like to tie up with the library and develop a good library automation system. So, if you have a place like that, if you are in such an environment, so people are collaborating, the library collaborates with the computer science department, and then they test the need, and then they write down the functions, and then they develop a software in-house. So, right from the scratch. The advantage here is that it is totally tailor made, custom made for you. You tell your requirement, they design it precisely to suit your requirement. But then the criticism on it, the criticism is that is it worth spending that much time? Should we reinvent the wheel when something is available in the market ready-madely? Should we develop that? So, there are pros and cons for that. So, nowadays many of the people are not actually trying to develop a software, they are picking something available from the market. So, when you want to pick something from the market, there are two kinds of software packages. One, as Kiran has just asked, open source software. The other one is the commercial software. The open source software, what happens is, there are a lot of enthusiasts or developers are there. There are a lot of people who want to give away the software free of cost. There are a lot of community of developers. Now, that is the way the software is developing world over, and the community based, people based development instead of a commercial company developing that. So, we have packages like Koha, for example, which are open source. So, where one can download the software free of cost, and you can download not only the package, you can also download the source code. Since the source code is available to you, if required, you can make changes into that. If you encounter a problem, you rewrite that, you edit that particular little bit of that code, and so that you put in lot of improvements, enhancement to the software, and again you give it back to the system. So, that the way the software develops, a cooperative software development, and then you don't pay for it. But then here the advantage in these open source software packages is that it is available to you free of cost, and also it gives you lot of options to tune the software in the way you want. You design most of the templates, etc., the input, outputs, etc., you design it yourself.
We have another phone call here. Let us receive the phone call. Hello.
Good afternoon, madam. Karthik, madam.
Good afternoon, Karthik.
Madam, advantages of library automation.
Advantages of library automation.
Yes,
Thank you, Karthik. So far, I think we have some. We have already discussed some of the advantages: the speed, accuracy, reliability, and then the repetitive jobs, avoiding the repetitive jobs. All these are advantages of the automation, automating the libraries. I hope your question is answered.
Yeah, going back to the
now let us resume the discussion.
Yeah, going back to the open source software. So, open source software, the main advantage is that you don't spend money on it. The another advantage is you tailor it to suit your specific needs, so that it precisely meets your requirement. But then we also have some problems with the open source software, in the sense that you may need to know some kind of a programming, you may have
Yes.
to spend a lot of time on that.
Learning
you need to struggle, sometimes you may have to struggle with that. You may have to put in several layers you have to understand. I do not say you have to be a thorough programmer, but still the knowledge of computing is extremely essential for running an open source software. So, you need devoted professionals, you need a set of devoted people if you want to use full time devoted people to use the open source. But then you also have the satisfaction that you did something on your own using an open source software. At the end of the day, you have some satisfaction with that. On the other side, we have commercial packages, wherein if you can afford that, you pay some fixed amount of money, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, and then you just buy something off the shelf, you just put it on the computer and you say next, finish, it does everything on its own. You do not have to really sweat it out to use that software, it is all ready made. You just put it on that, press a few buttons, it right away it just starts.
It's very user friendly.
Very user. Generally, those are very user friendly. And those developers, they generally come to your place and they give you on-site training. They train your staff. They give you extensive manuals for that. And if you, in case you run into any problem subsequently, they also give you after sales support. If you telephone them, they will come and attend to that. So, your life is more comfortable with commercial software, definitely, but only problem is it costs money. If the library can afford to take the money, for example, there are packages like BTLS, which cost something like 15 to 20 lakh rupees initially, and then you need to again pay annual maintenance fee. It could be again 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs and annual maintenance. But if you have that kind of money, perhaps commercial software is the solution. You don't, because you have peace of mind. You don't have to library need not worry about the programming and all. You concentrate on your users, instead of worrying about the software.
We have another phone call coming. Let us attend the phone call. Yes. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, ma'am. I am speaking from Karnool, Sayeda, ma'am.
Shweta, please tell me what is.
Sayeda, madam. Sayeda.
Okay, Sangeeta.
Sayeda, madam. Sayeda.
Sayeda, okay.
I'm from Karnool, ma'am. How many types of automation we should use in the BLIC, madam?
How many types of automation software?
We should use in BLIC, library.
Yeah.
What is that?
Dr. Varatharajan,
Okay.
you can take this question. How many types of automation softwares are there and how to use them?
No, that is a different kind. Sir already told that. That is a different kind, that is free software, then open source software, then commercial software. Free software is concerned, you see, we can take it Koha, then New General. These are the free software. We can get it and they put it in your system, you can automate your library. Then that is a commercial software, that is the VTLS, Lipsys, Soul, these are the things are commercial software, we have to pay. Then we install in our system, you can run the software.
Thank you, sir. Now, actually, we were discussing that there are three different types of software. One is in-house software, which is developed by the people, computer experts or the experts in developing the software in-house, that within the institution they develop. So, the advantage of this kind of software is that they are totally custom made. So, they are totally tailored to the needs, to cater to the needs of that particular institution. And then the second type of software we have discussed so far is commercial software, which are readily available in the market and very user friendly. You can, if you have the kind of budget to go for the commercial software, you can always, it is better to buy, because you will have lot of after sales support also. And the third type of software is open source software, where the source code is open. So, if you have expertise in developing the source code, you can just download download the software for free, and then you can also make modifications to suit your needs, and then you can use it. But the problem is here, you need to have some kind of expertise, and then nowadays there are also some agencies which are coming up to download to help you in the installation of that software, and also to provide support for doing such kind of software also. So, we have these three kind of softwares which are available for automating our libraries. So, with this now I would like to ask Dr. Varatharajan, so how to select an appropriate software for your library. So, what are the criteria you should consider for selection of an appropriate software?
First you have to take the collection, how much collection you have, then the variety of collection, whether that is a book, that is a journal, that is a audio video material, is there any manuscript, all the things you have to taken into consideration. Then you have to see that how many users are there, then what are the services you are providing through your library. That all the three things has to be taken. Then how you are providing the service online, how suppose using the opaque, what are the feature we can add it. Suppose that is opaque, the one person can search the catalog by different ways. Then when after searching that, he can store the search history. Then the person can also give some suggestion, that is through that is social media, we can interact the social media through the opaque. Through that you can give a suggestion. Suppose the person want to that particular book which is not available in the library, somebody has borrowed, if you want to restore the book, he can restore. Okay. Suppose a person he found a number of the record on that, he want to store it. There is no need of writing on the piece of paper. He can just click on that, what are the record he wanted, just click on that, and he can send it through that email attachment or your Facebook attachment. That kind of features are available.
So, we need to consider what features are available in the software and what are our requirements also. We have to assess our requirements and accordingly see what features are available. And for this we can also read the literature that is given by the vendor, and also we can contact others also who are using that software. We can take their opinion and we can ask for reviews, and also we can ask for a demonstration also before going for full-fledged purchase of that particular software or using that software. We can also ask for a demo version, so that we can try for some time, and then if we find that very useful, these are some of the general guidelines we follow for selection of this software. And then technical criteria like what languages does it support, what standards does it support, and then the document what kind of backup facilities is available. So, all these criteria will help us in selection of the software. Dr. Divakar, can you please tell us what are the available packages in the market, software packages, some of the familiar and mostly used software packages that are available in the market?
Madam, since you use the word commercial, and if a library is rich enough and if you have plenty of money, and they could consider software packages like BLISc or VTLS. So, these are well proven commercial software packages that are in use in India. For example, Varatharajan's library, the University of Hyderabad makes use of VTLS software and VTLS is one of the most proven software packages world over. It actually started in little bit I will go into the history of VTLS. It all started at the Virginia Polytechnic Institute in late 70s. So, Virginia Polytechnic is one of the pioneering tech institutions in America, where they attempted library automation. It all started in the mid 1970s. Then interestingly, there is an Indian involved with that, a person by name Vinod Chechra, an Indian. he is an IIT graduate, and then from after doing IIT he moved to America. He for an MS degree at Virginia Polytechnic. Then after MS he completed his PhD also at the same place, and he started working in the computer center at Virginia Tech. Subsequently it became Virginia Tech University. And then the library and the Virginia Tech University Computer Center, they partnered to develop a state-of-the-art library automation package. The result is VTLS. So they, in fact, the Virginia Polytechnic developed a library automation software for the whole university system in America.
Sorry to interrupt the discussion again, sir. We have another phone call coming here. Yes, hello. Can you be please louder? Hello.
హలో మేడం.
Yes.
హాయ్ మేడం, నా పేరు పావని.
పావని చెప్పండి.
యాక్చువల్గా ఇప్పుడు అన్ని ఈ జనరేషన్లో ఎక్కువ మొబైల్స్ అండ్ కంప్యూటర్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నారు కదా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్కి, అండ్ లైబ్రరీస్ అనేది ఎలా యూజ్ అవుతాయి అని.
ఓకే, ఆమె క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే మొబైల్ ఫోన్ని లైబ్రరీ ఆటోమేషన్లో వాడొచ్చా?
ఈజ్ దట్ యువర్ క్వశ్చన్ పావని? మొబైల్ ఫోన్ని మనము ఆటోమేషన్ కోసం ఏ విధంగా వాడచ్చు అని అడుగుతున్నారు కదా మీరు. ఓకే సార్ చెప్తారు.
ఓకే అమ్మా, ఇప్పుడు మనకి మన స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్ అంటున్నాం కదా. సో స్మార్ట్ ఫోను మనం మామూలుగా ఒక డెస్క్టాప్ కంప్యూటర్ కానీ ఒక ల్యాప్టాప్ కంప్యూటర్ కానీ చేసే పనుల్లో దాదాపు 80 to 90% పనులన్నీ మన స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్ చేస్తోంది కాబట్టి మన లైబ్రరీస్లో 2 రకాల కంప్యూటర్స్ ఉంటాయి మనకి. ఒకటేమో వర్క్ స్టేషన్స్ అంటాం, రెండోదేమో సర్వర్స్ అంటాం. సో సర్వర్ ఏం చేస్తుందంటే సర్వర్ పైన మన డేటా అంతా సర్వర్ మీద కూర్చోబెడతాం. ఇట్ సిట్స్ ఆన్ సర్వర్. పెద్ద రోబస్ట్ మెషిన్స్ ఉంటాయి సర్వర్స్ అని చెప్పి. ద మాస్టర్ డేటాబేస్ సిట్స్ ఆన్ దాట్. అండ్ దెన్ వీ హ్యావ్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ వాట్ వీ కాల్ వర్క్ స్టేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి, అంటే పీసీస్, ల్యాప్టాప్స్, అవి వర్క్ స్టేషన్స్ అంటాం. ఆ సిచ్యుయేషన్లో దాన్ని మనం ఏమంటామంటే క్లయింట్ సర్వర్ మోడల్ అంటాం టిపికల్ లైబ్రరీ సిచ్యుయేషన్లో, లైబ్రరీ ఆటోమేషన్కి. ఇందులో క్లయింట్ వచ్చేసరికి మన దగ్గర స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్ని యూ కెన్ పెర్హాప్స్ యూజ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ క్లయింట్ ఫర్ ద సిస్టమ్. క్లయింట్ సర్వర్ బేస్డ్ ఆటోమేషన్లో యువర్ స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్ బికమ్స్ ఏ క్లయింట్. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, మీరు ఇంట్లో ఉన్నారు, ఇంట్లోనే హాస్టల్లోనే ఉంటారు యూనివర్సిటీ సిస్టంలో ఉన్నప్పుడు మీరు ఏం చేస్తారంటే మీ స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్కి ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్టివిటీ ఉంది కాబట్టి, సో యూజింగ్ ది ఇంటర్నెట్ కనెక్షన్ ఫ్రమ్ యువర్ స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్ you log into the library's system. Libraryలోకి you can log into that. Now, just as you log into your bank account using your smartphone, you can also log into your library account and do all kinds of operations. For example, మీకు ఏదైనా ఒక ఓవర్ డ్యూ బుక్ ఉండొచ్చు లైబ్రరీలో. ఓవర్ డ్యూ బుక్ ఉంటే ఏం చేస్తారంటే మీ సర్క్యులేషన్ సిస్టంలోకి యూ ఎంటర్ త్రూ యువర్ స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్, and then maybe you place a request for renewal, or you place a request for reserving a book. All those operations from the user's point of view, smartphones, yes, smartphones can be used like any other computing device for accessing the library resources. Similarly, library lo చాలా ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ జర్నల్స్ కానీ ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ బుక్స్ కానీ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేస్తూ ఉంటే కనుక మీరు ఫిజికల్గా లైబ్రరీకి నడుచుకుంటూ వెళ్ళే పని లేకుండా మీ దగ్గర ఉన్న స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్లో నుంచే మీకు నచ్చినటువంటి జర్నల్ ఆర్టికల్ని కూడా మీరు డౌన్లోడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. చేసుకుని మీ దగ్గర పీడిఎఫ్ రీడర్ ఉంటే మీ స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్లోనే యూ కెన్ రీడ్ ఏ బుక్ చాప్టర్ ఆర్ యూ కెన్ రీడ్ ఏ ఆర్టికల్. కాకపోతే ఏంటంటే స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్లో since the screen is very small, you may not find it very convenient to read it for a longer time. మీరు ఏదో 5 నిమిషాలు 10 నిమిషాలు చదవచ్చు, కానీ మీరు ఒక 2 hours 3 hours ఒక బుక్ని సీరియస్గా స్టడీ చేయాలంటే స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్ మే నాట్ బి ఎ వెరీ కన్వీనియంట్ డివైస్. బట్ అవసరాన్ని బట్టి ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ ఇన్ ఎ ట్రావెల్, ఇఫ్ యు ఆర్ ఆన్ ద మూవ్, ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు క్విక్లీ యాక్సెస్ సంథింగ్, ఎస్, smartphone is extremely useful. And now we are delivering our services, libraries are delivering our services through the smartphone. మనం ఇప్పుడు స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్లో మనకి SMS అనే ఒక ఫెసిలిటీ ఉంది. ఆ SMS ఫెసిలిటీని కూడా మనం బాగా ఎఫిషియెంట్గా వాడుకుంటున్నాం లైబ్రరీస్లో. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్, ఒక బుక్ ఏదన్నా ఓవర్ వ్యూ అయింటే కనుక లైబ్రరీ ఆటోమేషన్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఆటోమేటికల్గా మన స్మార్ట్
Alerts.
ఫోన్ నంబర్ ఉంటే కనుక ఆ నంబర్కి ఆటోమేటిక్గా ఒక రిమైండర్ పంపించేయచ్చు, ఒక SMS మెసేజ్ వెళ్ళిపోతుంది, మీ పేరుతోటి 2 పుస్తకాలు ఉన్నాయి, దే ఆర్ ఓవర్ డ్యూ, ప్లీజ్ కమ్ అండ్ రిటర్న్ అని చెప్పి ఒక రిమైండర్స్ పంపించవచ్చు. అట్లానే కొత్త బుక్స్ ఏదన్నా వస్తే కనుక న్యూ బుక్ అలర్ట్స్ని కూడా మనం ఫీడ్స్ ఇవ్వచ్చు, ఈమెయిల్ ఈ స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్ లాగా SMS రూపంలో ఇవ్వచ్చు. అట్లనే ఏదన్నా బుక్ రిజర్వ్ చేసుకుంటే కనుక మీరు రిజర్వ్ చేసుకున్న బుక్ లైబ్రరీకి వచ్చేసింది, ప్లీజ్ కమ్ అండ్ బారో దట్ బుక్ అని చెప్పి మనం లైబ్రరీ నుంచి SMS అలర్ట్స్ కూడా పంపించవచ్చు. అట్లా సోషల్ నెట్వర్కింగ్ కూడా మన మొబైల్ ఫోన్స్ని ఈ స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్స్ని బాగా వాడుతున్నారు. అండ్ వీ కెన్ క్రియేట్ సోషల్ నెట్వర్క్స్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫేస్బుక్ పేజ్ కానీ లేకుంటే వాట్సాప్ గ్రూపులు కూడా మనం క్రియేట్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. ఒక లైక్ మైండెడ్ యూజర్స్తో ఒక వాట్సాప్ గ్రూప్లో పెట్టుకుంటే లైబ్రరీ విల్ ఆల్సో బీ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ దాట్. అండ్ దెన్ వాళ్ళ నీడ్స్ ఏంటి, వాళ్ళ రిక్వైర్మెంట్స్ ఏంటి, we can attend to them using this extremely efficient social media like Facebook or using the smartphones. అట్లా స్మార్ట్ ఫోన్స్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత లైబ్రరీకే కాకుండా యూజర్స్ కూడా లైఫ్ ఈజ్ బికమింగ్ మచ్ ఈజియర్.
ఎస్, పావని చాలా మంచి ప్రశ్న వేశారు మీరు. మొబైల్స్ని ఎలా ఇట్ ఈస్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద రీసెంట్ డెవలప్మెంట్స్ ఆఫ్ యూజింగ్ మొబైల్స్ ఫర్ లైబ్రరీ సర్వీసెస్. అండ్ యాజ్ Divakar sir has explained, you can send alerts for returning the books, and then overdue books, you can reserve the books you require, and then you can also get emails from the library, and then you can also read the books, but reading is somewhat cumbersome on a smartphone. But anyway, if in case if you are on a travel, or if you are traveling and then you really want to have some information, you can use the smartphone. So this is the latest development that is being included while developing the library software. So before answering this question, we were discussing about the different types of software that are available today in the market. So sir was explaining about VTLS.
Yeah, VTLS actually it was a success story of an Indian entrepreneur who was in the computer science department at the Virginia Polytechnic, and in 1985 the final version was ready. And then the Virginia Polytechnic, as I said, they started sharing the software with other university libraries in America. But then after that what happened was university and the computer center, they had their own activities like teaching and all, so they had difficulty in giving after sales support for that. So they encouraged the Vinod Chesra to open a company and then give it away to a company. So in that way a startup, what we call startup, originated there at Virginia Tech, and Vinod Chesra, the developer, came out.
Sorry to interrupt, we have another phone call coming in. Yes, hello.
Good afternoon, madam.
Good afternoon.
Madam, what are the challenges faced by the librarians in library automation, madam?
Okay, we will
and
take
madam, one more question. And most used software in Indian libraries?
Okay, mostly used software in Indian libraries. Okay,
Yes,
we will talk about it. We will take this question, and Dr. Varatharajan, I request you to answer these questions. One is, what are the challenges faced by the librarians in automating the libraries? And the second question is about what is the most popular software. I think you can answer this question first.
Most popular software nowadays in India or in the world, that is a Koha, that is a open source software. Most of the people are using for that. Since it is a free, it is a open source, what are the modification, new feature and other thing you can add it. And moreover that is a support, there is a group is there, like Listform, that is a group. We can put a query there, what are the problem you are facing, what are the things you want it, you can just put a query on that. A lot of people are there to answer. Moreover that lot of that concern, they are there, they used to support you. Is there any problem, they will come on right away, and they we have to pay the amount. Then if you want, they will extend the AMC facilities. Okay. Moreover that the software Koha is concerned, it is following the international standard, Mark 21, capturing the bibliographical data, it is using the Mark 21. Once you are keeping the data in Mark 21, it is universally accepted that format. that can be interchangeable for any, suppose there is a library cooperation or interlibrary activities, you can use that facilities.
Thank you, sir.
The other standards, you talked about standards that Koha support. There are a couple of other standards that Koha supports. Since you talked about Koha, and since Koha is becoming extremely popular world over, and India, lot of Indian libraries, as Varatharajan has rightly said, taken up the Koha software. Apart from the right thing that he said about Mark 21 catalog standard format, it also supports what we call the communication formats like JET 39.50. So, if you want to, if your library has to communicate with other libraries, you need to follow some communication standards, network protocols. So, one of the important network protocol is JET 39.50. So, Koha supports JET 39.50 protocol. So, it is very convenient in that sense. And the third standard that Koha supports is NCIP 2.0. With NCIP 2.0, you can put your library security system into the software. For example, if you are running let us say an RFID system, RFID security system in your library, especially academic libraries have the problem of books being stolen, and also they have put the security systems like RFID, and Koha supports the NCIP security protocol. So, like it also supports what we now call self checkout systems. So, a user can bring a book and then using a self checkout kiosk. So, he can take the book himself by doing by swiping his membership card and swiping the book against a machine. So, he can take the book himself because Koha supports the NCIP protocol. Similarly, if a user wants to return the book, so he can return the book even when the library is closed. For example, on a Sunday evening he wants to return the book. So, he can come and there are automatic systems available for returning the book, provided it follows these protocols like NCIP, as I said. So, Koha follows those protocols. So, it is very much amenable for self checkout kiosk. One can in that sense one can do library operations, the circulation operations 24/7, 365 days. So, that is another advantage of Koha.
Thank you, sir. We have received a very good call. Like what is the most popularly used software in India? So, Koha has several features and it is openly available, and then there are lots of user groups with whom you can interact, and also you can solve if you face any problem. So, these and it also supports the international standards like Mark 21, Z 39.5, and also the standard for security systems and all that. So, most of the libraries, and also several libraries are also using the NugenLib software also, which is again a new an open source software. So, can you, sir, please tell something? I think it is it has its origin from Hyderabad. So, it is very appropriate to talk about this software in this teleconference program also.
Koha and NugenLib, in a way, they started in a more or less parallelly. They came into the market around the year 2000, approximately 18-19 years back. The NugenLib is the brainchild of a famous veteran librarian by name L.J. Haravu, who used to work with BHEL R&D, and subsequently he moved to ICRISAT, where he superannuated. So, we respect him a lot, a senior library professional. So, the NugenLib is actually the brainchild of the veteran librarian called L.J. Haravu, and he tied up with a software company. His young boys were there, and then it was a success story. They came out with a product called NugenLib. Initially, it was a pay service when they launched it in 2000. But subsequently, depending on with the market demand, and since he wanted to give it free of cost to the people, he made it open source. Now, NugenLib is available like Koha as an open source platform. One can download it from the source force and then implement it. and the NewgenLib has a team, very young dynamic team is available based in Hyderabad. So, they come and give you support if you want support for installation and then to running that, then training your people at your library. So, NewgenLib team would be happy to come and help you in running the system, in configuring the system, in in tailoring, making it tailor made to suit your precise requirements. So, in that way NewgenLib is also very popular in both the Telugu states, the Telangana as well as Andhra Pradesh. A lot of engineering colleges have adopted the NewgenLib system. That was the pre-Koha days, but once the Koha came into the market, Koha has actually become a leader. It has, in a way, it has overtaken the NewgenLib.
Yes. And also, sir, let us, I think we have covered most of the aspects, like what are the different software that are available in the market, and what are the different open source software, commercial software and all that. Now, let us for a minute, can you tell me what are the latest things that are taking place in the development of the software? What are the new things that are being incorporated, Divakar?
New one is InflipNet has come out with a software called Soul. So, that is also become very popular, and if one wants to go for a commercial one, maybe it is very affordable. You pay some 30,000–40,000 rupees to InflipNet, and now the Soul 2.0 is available. It is a state of the art software. It is almost does most of the jobs like a VTLS, like a high end software, like instead of paying 15 to 20 lakhs for VTLS, you can just pay 40–50,000 rupees and then go for the Soul software. Then the other recent development that is happening is that nowadays increasingly we libraries are acquiring reading material in digital form. So, we are moving towards from traditional library, we are moving towards a hybrid library or a totally digital library situation, wherein the reading material is available in a born digital form. So, when you acquire reading material, it could be an e-book, or it could be an e-journal, or it could be e-newspaper, or it could be an electronically readable PhD thesis. When you have this kind of reading material, a born digital reading material in a library, then how do we handle the library automation? Now, we are ready for that. For example, previously what we were doing is, the user goes to the library catalog, what we now call OPAC, and then he puts a query, and then at the end of the query he gets a list of call numbers, that giving the location of that physical book. So, he notes down the call number or takes a printout of those books, goes to the shelf and picks those documents for reading, or he borrows them. But now what we are doing is, at the same place through the OPAC we give the URL. So, since we give the URL, they click on the URL, and from the right from the OPAC itself, one can go to the full text and then read the full text or download the full text. That is the latest development.
Thank you, sir, for explaining about the how software are handling even the digital collections. And in today's teleconference program, we have discussed the starting from the history, and then different types of software, what are the software that are available in the market, how to select a software. We have discussed how to deal with the digital materials also using web OPAC and all these things. Thank you very much, sir, for coming to our studios and participating in this discussion. Thank you.